Parshas Chayei Sarah. Just this should be L'Refuah Shalema, an old friend of mine. We used to play basketball together. He's today a very choshev Talmid Chacham. He's a Rabbi in Yeshiva Gush and Yeshiva Har Tzion. He's a Rabbi in the Gush. His son was critically wounded yesterday in battle. His name is Noam Avraham ben Atar Shlomit. He had a surgery. He has further surgery still happening today. We should learn L'Refuah Shalema Noam Avraham ben Atar Shlomit Taragin. Noam Avraham, the sweetness of Avraham. Okay, we're going to maybe even talk about that. We start off, everybody knows the beginning of the Parsha, the days of Sarah, how long did she live? 100 years, and 20 years, and 7 years. V'sheva Shnei Chayei Sarah. It repeats again the years of the life of Sarah. And Rashi says, Kulon Shavin Latova. Why are we bringing this again, the years of Sarah? To put them all together in one group, that they were all equally good. Now, if you think about this, it sounds a little difficult to understand if you've been keeping track of what's been going on in the earlier Parshas. She is kidnapped twice from her husband and taken by a king to be the wife. She's been married 78 years and has not had a baby. She's desperate for a child. When she receives the news of her child, she's not even sure, like, how is this even possible? They went from one place to another because there was a hunger and there was difficulty. And I'll tell you something else. She was busy all this time. She was Avram's partner. Avram was teaching the world about Hashem. Avram was teaching the men. Sarah was teaching the women. You know how many shidduchim they must have made? You know how many people they must have brought to the chuppah together to get married, and they see them have children and grandchildren, and they don't even have a child. And she's living all these years, and she's missing this. They were all equal for good. So there's different ways the Mefarshim look at this. Some say they were all equal in her tzidkus. They were all equal in her righteousness. Her beauty remained unchanged all the years. There's more going on over here. Sarah is married to Avraham. They have this job together. These parshas, if you look at them, they're talking about the incredible character trait of Avraham Avinu. He's sick. He's not feeling well. He just had a surgery. He's sitting there on this boiling hot day, and he sees some people coming. He's so excited, he gets up and he runs to them to invite them into his house. There's somebody I can give food to. It's interesting, like you look at some of the behaviors of Avram, and he's busy. You all know about the house with the 4 doors. Now, Avram taught the world something very counterintuitive, something that doesn't seem to make sense. And if we look inside of ourselves, it might even be hard for us to actually make sense of it. Let's say I have $100 and I give you 20. So if I have 100 and you have 20 now, and I gave you 20, how much do I have? I have 80. I wanted to buy something for $100. I can't buy it anymore because I gave you 20. So if I'm giving you 20, I have less than I had before. The concept of taking something of my own and giving it to another really seems to go kind of against, it doesn't make sense. I have less if I give you something that I have. Why would I ever do that? Okay, if we make a trade, I have apples, you have potatoes, so I make a trade, I understand. But if I just give you some of my apples, I have less apples. So then why would I do such a thing? And you saw that the world actually did not get this. There was a mabul, a flood, because people were taking from each other. Sodom got destroyed because they wouldn't give to one another. Maybe they wouldn't take, but they wouldn't give. He said, this is a corrupt society. What do you mean? It doesn't even make sense. Why would I take something of my own and give it to another person? How did Avram come to this understanding? So on the most basic, simple level, Avram Avinu made sense of the fact that I am here in this world. I did not put myself here. I have blessing, I have goodness in my life that I could not get to by myself. It was by virtue of a creator who gave me life. This is a chesed, this is an act of kindness. And this act of kindness means that this is what the creator wants in our world. So if I want to be great like this creator, if I want to live according to the plan of this creator, I am going to give some of my own as well as the creator does. You know what that does? That opens up the gate. So the creator gives more. You understand the purpose of creation is to give. You understand the purpose of creation is to do chesed. If you got that, I'm going to give you more. And in a world where people are generous and charitable and give to each other, the bracha flows. And in a world where everybody's trying to grab it for itself, the financial system eventually collapses under the weight of this greed and this quality of self-absorption and keeping just for ourselves. So Avram discovers this avodah that he puts into practice in the world. The avodah of chesed. Now, the Medrash says something, it's almost hard to understand the words. And we're going to get back to Sarah in a minute because this is all about Sarah. Because Sarah and Avram were partners in everything that happened. And when it says like the Ma'aseh Avos Siman Labanim, the deeds of the father are an indication for the next generation, it's referring to Sarah as well. It's referring to Rachel and Leah, Rivka. It's referring to the Avos and the Imahos, the fathers and the mothers. That's the Ramban. So when we have, so Avram is sitting there. What's happening when he's sitting there? Now, let's say a guy comes over to you and says, can I have some charity? I need a meal. You feel bad for the guy. You give him money for a meal. Why do you give him money for a meal? Because you felt bad. Your emotions you're hardwired to have these emotions. So you kind of had these emotions and you did good. Does it come out of a desire to do good or does it come out of not wanting to feel bad? The concept of chesed is something much more. It's the desire to do good. And there's something amazing in the story. When Eliezer is looking for a wife for Yitzchak, he goes and he finds Rivka and he says, what's going to be the indication if she is the right wife? If she says to me, I ask her for water for myself, but she says, I'm going to even give to your camels. Wow, that's another step. I didn't ask her for that. But the story gets a little bit crazier. Rashi, towards the end, says, when Eliezer is repeating the whole sequence of events to the family of Rivka, he says, I'm going to give also to you, Gam, also to you. Rashi says, not only was she giving him, Eliezer was coming with wealth of Avram Avinu to show the wealth. He didn't come himself leading the 10 camels and he didn't come by himself. He came with a whole team of people. So he comes with a bunch of able-bodied men, and they all come to the well. And Rivka says, I'm not just going to give you, I'm not just going to give you camels, I'm even going to give to all of your men. That's a little bit crazy. They're a bunch of healthy guys. Let them take care of it. Eliezer came with a bunch of servants under him. Let them take care of it. Of course they could take care of it. But somebody who has a desire to give doesn't say, oh, let them do it themselves. They say, I have an opportunity to give to somebody who's not from around here, who doesn't by themselves, haven't yet taken for whatever reason. Let me be part of giving to them without a request. It's crazy. Yeah, we are crazy. Klal Yisrael is crazy. We go against the rule, the tide, the prevailing norm of the entire world. Avram Avinu was called Avram Ivri. He stands on the other side of the river. The whole world is on one side and he's on another. And he's saying we have to be godly in the way we live. We have to do chesed for other people. When? All the time. Every single day. Every single moment is an opportunity to give to another. Every single moment. Sarah, the Medrash says she lives 127 years. Rabbi Akiva's trying to wake up the guys who are sleeping in the room, and he says, 127 years of Sarah, and that's why her granddaughter Esther became the queen of 127 countries. Everybody looks up. What? What does one thing have to do with another? Because the world was created for this concept of chesed. And so the ruler of the world is the granddaughter, the great-great-great-great-granddaughter of the one who recognized every opportunity to give. That's an opportunity that we're going to take. So, Sarah Imenu says, Kulan Shavin Latova. All the days were good. Were they good? They were horrible. She's crying and begging and davening. Can I please have a child already? I can't live with this anymore. No. She's crying and begging and davening. I can't live with it anymore. And still recognizing that there's so much blessing and there's so much good. And I want to share that good with others. And I spend my day trying to figure out how I can give good to others. Kulan Shavin Latova is that Sarah Imenu understands I'm counting my blessing. There's so much I do have. Let's have a roof over my head. And I have food and I have the ability to give to another. My arms are working. My legs are working. My brain is working. My eyes are working. I'm standing up. I'm healthy. I really want a child. Hashem, please give me even more of your chesed. Please give me even more. The concept of all these years were for Shavin equal for Tov is because she always saw the Tov in the Bria her entire life. And that's why every one of her years she got another country with the way she lived. Every month she got another city. Every day she got another street or another road, as the Or Gedal Yoh says it. Every day she was living, how can I do a chesed for another person? That's where we come from, gentlemen. This is our history. This is at our roots. Not that I'm losing, but how much I'm actually getting when I give. Shvuzeicha, to be true children of Avram Avinu, and Sarah Imenu, and Refuah Shalema for Noam Avram, the sweetness of Avram. Basatar Benatar Shlomit. Shabbos.